for you guys today is a Dan Wesson. That thing shoots so good. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming on to the Concealed Carry channel to check out our review today. I'm super excited to show you what I have going on. I actually love this gun so much. Spoiler alert, I ended up buying it. So I feel like maybe doing these reviews is not such a good thing for my bank account, but I'll tell you what, hit that like, hit that subscribe. That helps out the channel immensely, supports us in what we do. That way we can bring the guns to you, give you those honest reviews, take them to the range, make sure that you guys know what you're going to be buying before you buy it, and give you the best educated decision that you can have. So before we jump into this review, I want to thank the folks over at Northwest Armory. Thank you guys. They're providing us with firearms for the reviews, so that way we can get those and get the content rolling, so you can get that honest review. I don't have any manufacturers, of course, speaking in my ears about these guns and telling me things that I should and shouldn't say. This is just what I have found, and hopefully you find that this information is valuable to you. Now, the folks over at Northwest Armory, they are shipping nationwide to your local FFL. So go to nwarmory.com, purchase your guns there. You can get accessories there. They will ship them out for you. Also, if you happen to go into the store and you say hi to the folks there, make sure you tell them that Grant McLean over the Concealed Carry channel sent you, and they're going to make sure, of course, to take care of you. Also, Khaki, give him a few pets, tell him he's a good boy, because he is. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into this. What I have for you guys today is a Dan Wesson. And not just a Dan Wesson. We have the Dan Wesson Discretion. Okay, this is the Commander size 45 caliber with the threaded barrel. Oh man, I love this when the guns come in butcher paper. That tells you something, right? So look at this beauty. Holy smokes, is this just a sexy gun? I mean, look, oh my gosh, where do I even start? Just look at it. Just the sights, even the threaded barrel protector. Oh my gosh, the lightning cuts and the slide, the hammer. I mean, look at that. The flat skeletonized hammer, awesome. Look at the trigger, the serrations in the front of the trigger, the G10 grips, the front and back straps. Oh my gosh, just everything. The flared magwell. Where do you even start with this gun? We'll have to start at the top. So let's talk about what comes in the case here, and also a little bit about this firearm here. Okay, so the overall length is 8.7 inches. The overall height is 5.8 inches. The width is 1.25 inches, and this is going to weigh in at 2 pounds and 6 ounces. Okay, now inside the box, you're going to have the firearm, of course, but you're also going to get 2 8-round magazines. You're going to get your lock, a little bit of gun lube, okay, a little sample of it, and you have your manual from the factory, okay? So everything that you need to get this baby going. Love it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this gun. Now, we did take this to the range. The rear sights were a little different from what I'm used to. These are kind of like the big dot sights, where you have your rear sight, your front sight, and then you put your target on top of that. So you just kind of stack them up almost like a traffic light. Okay, took a little bit of getting used to for me. So I plugged some rounds down range, getting used to the functionality of the gun, the recoil, and then of course the sights. And then what we do is we take that and we do 3, 5, 7, and 10 yard groups. Okay, so what I'm doing with that is I'm shooting 5 rounds in 2 seconds. Okay, so it's not that I've had a ton of trigger time with the gun already. I've gotten comfortable with it, and now I've just taken it, I've sent out the target in the range, and I've just blasted at it. Okay, and I'm pretty happy with the groupings that we have there. No complaints. And as the day went on, after I did the target shoot, things just got more and more refined, you know. So I'm very, very happy with it. And like I said earlier, I mean, I'm so happy with it. I bought the gun, and I mean, this is by far one of my favorite 1911s I have ever owned. And prior to owning this, I also have the Nighthawk Agent 2, which is a fantastic gun. But we'll talk about this here. The price difference is significant between that and this. Okay, so let's start on the top here with these sights. Obviously, these are raised suppressor height sights. They are tritium. Like I said earlier, the sights took a little bit getting used to, and I'll show you here. So you have the dot on the rear, the dot in the front, and then you're going to put your target right on top of that. So it's kind of that stop, that traffic signal type of target acquirement. So I really like that. One, these sights are super solid. These are Ameriglow sights, and I really like the machining on the rear sight. I do also really like that it's a flat face on the rear sight. So, and I have used that. So when you are doing a single hand reload, okay, you can take this, put it on your belt, and you can rack that slide right off of your belt. So I do really like all the attention to detail that they did there. Now, talking about the slide here, the slide has so many different characteristics and things that I absolutely love about it. And you know, I've had SIG TAC Ops 1911s, and I'm contemplating, I should send it in to get the slide milled or things like that. And you know, one of the things I loved about this is it already has that milling done, and you can use these front lightning cuts or serrations, or you know, whatever it is that you want to call it. You can use those for press checks. No problem with that at all. Okay, and then of course the rear serrations, excellent. The spring is not overly heavy by any means, to where I can't manipulate it even if my hands are sweaty and wet. The top of the slide, they've done some fantastic milling on the top here to cut down the glare as the light hits over that. And so they did a great job with that. The only thing that I found I would have wanted with this is a optic cut with a plate. Now, I can still do an optic on there, you know, with the rear sight, but that would have been one thing that I would have said, you know, really would have blown my socks off about it. But as is, you know, I shoot this really, really well. So having the optic, putting an optic on there is not the number one priority on my list for this. But if it was there, I would not be complaining. I just love it that much more. On the other side, you can see it says nice, subtle discretion. The machining on that, of course, is beautiful as well. Okay, love that. Now, as far as safety goes, 1911s have a mass amount of safety features, as you may know. So you have the safety on the back here. You also have a thumb safety on the left side. Okay, now I'm sure that you could do an ambidextrous safety. However, it is set up on the left side of the gun as is. Okay, so that is kind of a bummer for people who are left-handed shooters right out of the box, but I'm sure you can fix that if it's really something that's important to you. Okay, and you're not going to be sad even if it costs you a little bit of money, because this is such a fantastic pistol. Other than that, it is single action only. Okay, so hammer back, safety up, and that's how you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, cocked and locked. Okay, so other than that, the safety, fantastic, super easy to get to. I found that drawing it from a holster, I was really easy to get that down and manipulated with my thumb. Oh, and they also did some great machining on the safety as well. So some I've seen where the serrations are not parallel to the slide, because I find that your thumb really gets more grip this way than the serrations being this way, okay? And I think I have that actually on this, on my Nighthawk here, okay? You'll see that the serrations there. That one is also a little bit different shape, as you can see as well. I feel that I get a lot more positive grip on this safety than this safety, okay? Now, I don't want to compare the two too much, but you know what? While I have that on my mind, I might as well tell you, those guns are about $4,600, okay? This is $2,181, okay? Kind of a funky number, but let's call it $2,200. $4,500, $2,200, okay? And I shoot this more because it has a threaded barrel and I have a suppressor for this. So with that being said, had I reviewed one of these prior to owning that, I probably would have bought two of these, okay? And I'm not saying that Nighthawk is not a fantastic gun. It absolutely is. And I got the most badass one, in my opinion, I could get. But I really do love this gun that much to boldly say what I just did, okay? Now, let's talk about the mag release here, okay? Mag release is, it's ambidextrous, okay? So you can switch it from one side to the other, but it sits out really far above the frame. That is a big plus for me. And the machining on that is very easy to find, whether you're wearing gloves or not. And with the grip as it comes down, it's super easy to find that mag release. I really do like that a lot. Loading in the mags, super simple as well. You have a flared mag well there, which I'll talk about when I go over the grip here. But yeah, love the magazine release. I don't have, you know, big hands or anything like that, so I did find that the mag release is a little, just a tiny bit out of reach for my thumb. But you know, at this point, I'm so used to having to switch my hand position anyways that it really wasn't a big deal to me. All right, so let's talk about this grip. The grip is fantastic. It's a G10 grip, complements everything on the gun just beautifully. There's a couple things that I would change on the grip, and I'll cover that in the fit and finish. But the back strap, the front strap, the machining on that is absolutely beautiful, and the magwell is built into the grip, makes for easy reloading, as you can see there. Awesome. Okay, now the trigger. This trigger may be the best trigger I've ever had in my hands. It's amazing. Take a look at the styling on that trigger. It's just gorgeous. And then in the front, they did these small serrations there as well. And you do notice that when you're shooting the gun. It's super light trigger, especially with, of course, the hammer back. It's single action only. And I'll show you guys here. The reset on this thing is awesome too. So we're going to go ahead and pull that trigger, and you'll see nice clean break. Check this out. Watch this reset. How awesome is that? I mean, this thing feels like it's less than 3 pounds. This thing is awesome. Love the trigger on this. I wouldn't change a thing about it. That in general, this is probably, when it comes to the grip, the trigger, and the functionality and things like that, this is probably the best 1911 I've ever had in my hands. And I'm not saying for the money, just altogether. So of course, you know, shooting this, like I said earlier, I had to buy it. Ergonomics. 1911s, in my opinion, are one of the most ergonomic guns, hands down. Of course, you know, that thin grip, you know, some of that's due to a single stack. That's kind of a bummer, in my opinion, that you're limited to 8 rounds. And yeah, you can get a couple Wilson Combat or Chip McCormick extended mags, you know, bring you out to 10 rounds or so. But other than that, you know, I really love the ergonomics on this. That slide lock release lever is nice, fat right there, super easy to get to. No problem. The safety, super easy to get to. Everything on it, just fantastic. I love the ergonomics. The only thing I would say is, as a concealed gun, this is gonna, it's gonna print, you know. The barrel on this, you know, the slide isn't even longer, so the barrel isn't gonna make too much of a factor as far as that goes. If the slide was longer, it might print a little bit more. It's a 5-inch barrel, but the thing is this gun is not light. I mean, it's a heavy gun, and it feels like a full-size gun. So with that being said, even with the Commander slide, it's ergonomic wise may not be the most comfortable thing to carry day to day, but that's kind of up to you, and you know how your rig is set up, and your belt and your holsters and so on and so forth. Might be fantastic for that. Okay, so the recoil. Recoil on 45s, they, in my opinion, they have more of a push versus a pop like a 40. The recoil is so smooth. I mean, this gun is nice and light on the spring. The slide, it has the lightning cuts, and it's a Commander size, so there's not a whole lot of weight going back. Of course, the metal lower frame is gonna also keep this very well balanced, and there's just a lot of, you know, yeah, there's a lot of weight, but that weight is also gonna absorb a lot of recoil. And I mean, I can shoot this thing for hours and put hundreds of rounds down the range, and my wrists aren't sore or anything. It's just fantastic as far as recoil management goes. Just love it. As far as accessories for this pistol, there's not a whole lot that I would even do to this, just because it comes with so many things already on there. There's just not a whole lot I would do to it. You do have the 1913 rail, that pick rail on the front. So this is going to fit most all lights, laser light combos. It's pretty decked out as is. But, you know, let's be honest. If you wanted to do anything to this, it's out there. I mean, it's a 1911. These things have been made for a very, very long time. You know, I don't want to do the math on it exactly, but a long time. And you're going to find any accessory that you want to out there. Holsters are going to be a little limited on, not too limited, but a little bit, just because the suppressor height sights. Okay, so that's about it. You know what I mean? So I found that one of my holsters, this doesn't quite fit in there as smooth. You know what I mean? And I want it to go in and out of there nice and smooth, if you know what I mean. So I found that my holster didn't work well with it, but eventually I just jammed it in there anyways, and it worked just fine. So yeah, that's kind of the thing as far as that goes. Fit and finish, though, I only have a couple areas on this, and I am ultra picky. All my friends and family know this. I can be very crucial if I need to. Okay, so if you look up here where the slide meets the frame, you'll see this ball milling. If they had carried out that ball milling a little bit more and smoothed that out, that would have been good. Okay, like I said, ultra critical. And the other thing too is down here on the magwell, you'll see there's this gap between the grip and the magwell. Had that grip gone a little bit wider and just flush with that magwell right there, bonus points. Okay, but outside of that, when you're behind the gun, you don't care. This thing is so awesome to shoot. So I'll tell you what, you know, it's gonna be more expensive than some other 1911s. Yes, I totally understand that. Especially something like this, I would look at probably A SIG TAC Ops would be somewhat of the same, aesthetics and functionality. But you buy one of those, you're going to wish you would have saved up another, $800 and bought one of these, in my opinion. If you go to the high end of the spectrum, like I already have, you're going to get one of these in your hand and you're going to go, oh, man, I could have bought 2 of these. So, in my opinion, fantastic gun to own. Classy, sexy, just ultra Call of Duty. For those of you who are into that. And fantastic. So, anyways, you guys, thanks for joining me for this review. Super happy that you did. I want to ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you know when I have a new video come out. I already have content for it, and I want you to get that reminder that it's out. And that also helps out the channel a lot. Of course, make sure for your gun needs, if you need something, a new gun, go to nwarmory.com. The people over at Northwest Armory are fantastic, and they're a big supporter of the channel too, making sure that we can get guns in my hands, down in the range, get you honest feedback on those before you decide you want to put your money into that pistol or that firearm or whatever it might be. Okay, so anyways, you guys, thanks so much again for joining us, and we'll see you next time. What was I going to say? Okay, so, did I do that? No. So, I only have, one, so I found that my holster didn't, work well with it. But eventually I just jammed it in there anyways, and it worked just fine. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing as far as that goes.